Hello everyone. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then subscribe to this channel. The expert of shocking and secret, Edgar Allan Poe, brought into the world on January 19, 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts, is quite possibly of the most compelling and cryptic figure in American writing. Famous for his dim and climatic stories, Poe's commitments to the class of awfulness, secret, and criminal investigator fiction have made a permanent imprint on the artistic world. In spite of a daily existence set apart by private misfortune and expert struggle, Poe's imaginative composition and spearheading soul keep on enrapturing perusers and motivate journalists. This article investigates the life, works, and enduring tradition of Edgar Allan Poe. Early life and training. Edgar Allan Poe was brought into the world to David and Elizabeth Poe, both of whom were entertainers. His initial life was defaced by misfortune, as his mom passed on from tuberculosis when he was only 3 years of age. His dad had deserted the family before Poe's introduction to the world, leaving the stranded youngster under the watchful eye of John and Frances Allan, a well-off couple from Richmond, Virginia. In spite of the fact that Poe was rarely officially taken on, he was given the Allan last name and raised as a component of the Allan family. Poe went to the College of Virginia in 1826, however battled with monetary challenges and betting obligations. His time at the college was set apart by scholarly greatness and individual shakiness, driving him to pull out and later enlist in the U.S. Armed Force under an accepted name. Regardless of his scholarly potential, Poe's monetary troubles and private matters kept him from finishing his schooling and chasing after a steady vocation. Scholarly starting points and early works. Edgar Allan Poe's scholarly vocation started with the distribution of his most memorable assortment of sonnets, Tamerlane and Different Sonnets, in 1827. The assortment, distributed secretly, got little consideration and didn't lay out Poe's standing as an essayist. Notwithstanding, Poe's initial works showed his ability for lyricism and his interest with subjects of death and despairing. In 1831, Poe distributed a modified release of his sonnets, including Al-Araf, Tamerlane, and Sonnets, which exhibited his developing style and topical worries. Poe's verse, frequently portrayed by its musicality and investigation of dull and Gothic subjects, started to stand out from scholarly pundits and perusers. Poe's profession took a critical turn when he started composing brief tales and papers. His brief tales, for example, The Obvious Heart, 1843, and The Fall of the Place of Usher, 1839, laid out him as an expert of grotesque and mental loathsomeness. These works, with their complex plots and investigation of the human mind, exhibited Poe's capacity to create convincing and disrupting stories. The introduction of analyst fiction. Edgar Allan Poe is frequently credited with spearheading the class of analyst fiction. His 1841 brief tale, The Homicides in the Lament Mortuary, is viewed as the primary present-day analyst story and presented the personality of C. Auguste Dupin. Dupin, a beginner criminal investigator with a sharp insight, utilizes his powers of perception and derivation to settle a merciless homicide case. The story laid the foundation for the investigator class, affecting later authors like Arthur Conan Doyle and Agatha Christie. Following The Homicides in the Mortuary, Poe composed extra analyst stories highlighting Dupin, including The Secret of Marie Roget, 1842, and The Purloined Letter, 1844. These accounts laid out key components of the analyst classification, including the utilization of sensible thinking, legal science, and the idea of the splendid criminal investigator tackling apparently inconceivable cases. The Raven and artistic achievement. Edgar Allan Poe's most well-known work, The Raven, was distributed in January 1845 p.m. Mirror. The sonnet, known for its unpleasant holdback Nevermore and its melancholic investigation of misfortune and sadness, brought Poe critical praise and monetary achievement. The Raven laid out Poe as a noticeable scholarly figure and set his standing as an expert of Gothic and ghastly verse. The outcome of The Raven prompted expanded acknowledgement for Poe, yet he kept on confronting monetary challenges and individual battles. In spite of his basic approval, Poe's monetary flimsiness and medical conditions endured all through his life. His wild connections and fights with discouragement and liquor addiction further intensified his troubles. Individual life and misfortune. Edgar Allan Poe's own life was set apart by both significant love and destroying misfortune. In 1836, Poe wedded his cousin Virginia Clem, who was just 13 years of age at that point. In spite of the age distinction and the difficulties they confronted, Poe and Virginia had a nearby and cherishing relationship. Virginia's passing from tuberculosis in 1847 profoundly impacted Poe and altogether affected his composition. Poe's battles with psychological well-being and substance misuse were indisputably factual and added to the unsteadiness and misfortune of his life. His standing as an upset and confounding figure was exacerbated by his unpredictable way of behaving and continuous episodes of disease. Poe's well-being decayed soon after Virginia's passing, and he encountered expanding trouble with his composition and individual undertakings. Secretive demise and heritage. On October 7, 1849, Edgar Allan Poe was tracked down insane and unintelligible in the city of Baltimore. He was taken to a close-by emergency clinic where he kicked the bucket on October 7, 1849, under strange conditions. The specific reason for Poe's demise stays obscure, with hypotheses going from intense liquor addiction to rabies or even unfairness. His passing added to the air of secret encompassing his life and work. Notwithstanding the difficulties and debates of his life, Edgar Allan Poe's commitments to writing have had an enduring effect. His advancements in the class of frightfulness, secret, and analyst fiction have affected endless authors and movie producers. Poe's capacity to investigate the hazier parts of human instinct and his dominance of environmental and mental narrating keep on reverberating with perusers and crowds. Poe's work has been the subject of broad academic examination and well-known transformation, with his accounts and sonnets showing up in different types of media, including film, TV, and realistic books. His effect on writing and mainstream society is obvious in the preceded with interest in his work and the continuous interest with his mysterious persona. Edgar Allan Poe's life and work exemplify the intricacies of both a scholarly man, trailblazer, and a grievous figure. His commitments to the class of frightfulness and criminal investigator fiction, his unmistakable style, and his investigation of dull and Gothic subjects have left a persevering through inheritance. In spite of the difficulties and misfortunes he confronted, Poe's capacity to dazzle and disrupt perusers stays a demonstration of his virtuoso and imagination. Poe's effect on writing and culture keeps on being felt, guaranteeing that his commitments will be recollected and celebrated for a long time into the future. As an expert of shocking and secret, Edgar Allan Poe's inheritance perseveres through his creative composition and his capacity to investigate the profundities of the human mind. His work stays a strong and reminiscent impression of the hazier parts of the human experience, setting his place as quite possibly of the best scholarly figure ever. Thank you for watching.